Good morning, children. Welcome for today's biology class. So, today we are going to continue the chapter Biotechnology Principles and Processes. So, mainly today we are going to cover processes of recombinant DNA technology. So, during the processes of recombinant DNA technology, so we have to follow different steps one by one. First, the isolation of the genetic material, that is DNA, is to be done. DNA is seen within the cell, that is inside the nucleus. So the cell, it is surrounded by cell membrane, and even the cell wall also there in plant cells and all. These are to be dissolved. So then only the DNA can be taken out. For this purpose, we are following, in the case of bacterial cells, using lysozyme to dissolve the bacterial cell walls. In plant cells, we are using the enzyme cellulase to dissolve cellulosic cell wall, and the enzyme chitinase is used to dissolve fungal cell wall. So when we are dissolving, then automatically the DNA is released along with several other macromolecules inside the cell. Different macromolecules are there: RNA, proteins, polysaccharides, lipids. It will be released along with that. And the next step is purification and separation of DNA. In eukaryotic DNA molecule, you know that already we studied, it is intertwined with proteins such as histone octomers, and the histones, it has to be removed. How is it removed? By treatment with the enzyme protease. The enzyme protease, it converts proteins into amino acids. Then RNA is removed by treating the enzyme ribonuclease. Then ultimately the pure DNA molecules are precipitated out by adding chilled ethanol and collected in the suspension. So here, can you observe, children? It is being separated. So here also DNA molecules are there. It is being separated at the end of experiment. Then the next step, cutting of DNA at specific location. So the isolated and purified DNA molecules are cleaved by using the enzyme restriction endonuclease. Already we studied restriction endonuclease enzyme. They act as molecular scissors. They are specific in their action. Okay. And later the purified and cleaved DNA molecules, that is both the source of DNA and the vector DNA, both are mixed in presence of enzyme ligase. Then so automatically the sticky ends join, resulting in the formation of recombinant DNA. Already we studied recombinant DNA technology, how we have to do. The same way we are doing this. Then it will join and it will result in the formation of recombinant DNA. So in case the gene of interest, whatever we get, we want to amplify as it is in less amount. It can be amplified, means identical copies can be made by method polymerase chain reaction, that you call that as PCR. Multiple copies of the gene of interest can be made in this method. Here we are using the enzyme DNA polymerase. The enzyme extends the primers and ultimately we can make the DNA as template. Identical DNA can be done. There is DNA replication, can be repeated many times, can be 1 billion copies also can be made. So here for this achievement we need a thermostable DNA polymerase, that is DNA polymerase using, there is Thermus aquaticus, one bacteria is there. From that we get, there is Taq polymerase, what it is given here, that is the thermostable enzyme, Taq polymerase, Thermus aquaticus, T, then AQ from aquaticus. So it can withstand high temperature and it is helpful during this steps and all. So here in PCR 3 steps are there. It is very repeatedly asked 3 more question. You learn the diagram also children, along with the explanation. Even labeling also can be asked by giving the diagram. Here and there they will give blanks and it can be asked to fill up. Okay, so here first you see here, that is the DNA double helical structure. It is denatured. Then here it separates. This is the first and this is the second strand separated. Then later we are adding primers, that is small pieces it is added. One from, always the newly formed DNA is from 5' to 3'. So that's why here one strand and here one strand primer is added. then it going on extending, that is third step extension. First step is denaturation, second step is annealing, third step is extension. Okay, it is going on extending. Here we are using the enzyme Taq polymerase, that is Thermus aquaticus. From that it has been extracted, so we call that as Taq polymerase, and it can be repeated so many times, then ultimately we can get multiple copies of DNA. So the same thing, so here it has been written in the form of nitrogenous bases, nothing else. First step is denaturation, second is annealing step, small bases, small primers are given, extension, then multiple copies are made. So then the insertion of the recombinant DNA into the host cell or organism. So here we do several techniques for insertion. Okay, so once the cell receives a foreign DNA fragment, it becomes transformed into genetically modified cell, that is GM. If it is an organism, we call that as GMO, genetically modified organism. If it is cell, you call that as genetically modified cell. So in the cell, it starts behaving differently. Why? So because it has been transformed, we have introduced new DNA. Okay, for example, if our DNA bearing gene, if it is resistant to antibiotic penicillin, that type of gene, when it is inserted inside E. coli, then the bacteria will become resistant to ampicillin. In case if you have introduced antibiotic resistance, they will show antibiotic resistance. Here the antibiotic resistance to ampicillin is inserted, for example, then the bacteria will become resistant to ampicillin. So if you want to separate that transformed bacteria, if we are transferring the culture plate containing antibiotic penicillin, the plate is containing the antibiotic penicillin along with the medium, the culture plate. So if we are transferring that E. coli, the transformed cells, so only the resistant forms will grow and other will die. Then automatically we can distinguish the transformants from non-transformants. Okay, so such ampicillin resistant gene as it is there, so that bacteria, it can grow wherever we made change. So such antibiotic resistance, so here we call that a selectable marker. This also we studied already, children, how this selectable marker is working and all. So here we are studying the process, there we studied the principles. The next is obtaining a foreign gene product. So the recombinant gene is expressed in the form of proteins. Okay, it can be cultured in the laboratory to obtain the gene product. We can get in a small scale also, large scale also. The cultures can be, the later it can be used after that. From that we have to extract the desired protein. Then desired protein is extracted, then later it has to be purified also, because it may be containing other contamination also, so it has to be clarified. Okay, therefore it has to be purified. So the cells can also be multiplied, continuous culture system using the medium. Some medium we are using here, from the medium we are drained and the fresh medium is added. So because the medium will be getting the other unwanted products also, that's why it has to be removed frequently and the new medium is added, fresh medium is added. Then only it will be physiologically active. So because they will produce other waste materials and metabolic other wastes also, so it can contaminate. So that's why frequently the used medium is drained out and fresh medium is added. Okay, so this type of culturing method, it increases large amount of production of that bacteria or GMO, whatever we grow inside, the yield will be more. So that's why we have to provide fresh medium at frequent intervals. Next is downstream processing. So once the foreign product is obtained, then later it has to be marketed. So before marketing, so here we have to purification is to be done. That purification you call that as downstream processing. This product is to be formulated with suitable preservatives. Okay, so to undergo, and it has to undergo clinical trial also. So whether it is correct or wrong, whatever we have done, whether it is containing the product what we needed, like that clinical trials to be done, and strict quality control testing also to be done, then only it can be released. Okay. So next let us see regarding bioreactors. So this bioreactors can be used as vessels in which the materials by actually for growing that microorganism, genetically modified organism, we are using the bioreactors. So this what is the purpose of bioreactor? It provides optimal conditions for achieving the desired product. It provides optimum temperature, optimum pH and substrates, salts, vitamins, oxygen, everything it is now given in controlled condition. So this is commonly used. Okay, so this bioreactors, very commonly used bioreactors are stirred type. So why do we use stirred tank? Because all the nutrients, temperature, pH, oxygen supply, all should be under the proper amount. It has to be mixed properly. Okay, for the proper mixing, it facilitates the mixing. Actually, the stirred tank bioreactor, it facilitates mixing of the contents. The stirrer present, it facilitates mixing and oxygen availability throughout the bioreactor to maintain uniformly. So here two types of bioreactor has been given here. One is simple stirred bioreactor, other is sparged stirred bioreactor. Here the fan like small blades are there. It is helpful in stirring. Here bubbles are made and this bubbles it keeps stirring. So the uniformity of the substances present in the culture medium, it can be maintained by means of this method. Okay children, this bioreactors also diagram can be asked to draw types of reactors and what are the advantages of using bioreactors. Even regarding downstream processing, what is the purpose of downstream processing, like that simple small questions can be asked. What we studied PCR, it can be asked separately in 3-mark question children. Okay, you learned. If there is any doubt, you contact me. Thank you children.